Hi everyone, can you hear me okay? Yes. Right, well I'd like you to please feel comfortable, take any notes you want to make this a more timely presentation, because we have got someone coming in to do a presentation straight afterwards. If you've got any questions, please wait till the end and I'll be happy to answer any questions you've got. Okay, so this is a presentation on how to accurately calculate your lesson price and recession-proof your business. And the reason that I'm doing this is because I think there's a huge gap in the qualifying process to become a driving instructor. You pass your part 1, yeah, we're all happy with that. You pass your part 2, possibly go on a pink badge, but between part 2 and part 3, there's absolutely nothing in the qualification process that helps you prepare for running the business. It helps you to be an instructor and a good trainer, but there's nothing that helps you prepare to run a successful business. So I've created this lesson price calculator template. And the reason I've done this is because how do most of us calculate how to charge X amount for our lessons? We're in the middle of our area and we think, oh, there's a few people down that side of the area, they might charge £28 an hour, just for argument's sake. And then we've got some people down the other end of the area who charge £32. So you know what, I'll stick myself in the middle at £30. And you're setting your lesson price in relation to what other people are doing, when really you should be doing it specifically on what your needs are. And that's something that's really important. So you can see on the screen there, I haven't filled in the individual amounts because this is going to vary for everyone. And I've just put an amount in there as a subtotal of £1,000. Number one, because I'm not great with mental arithmetic, so it's going to make it easier to do the maths at the end. Number two, it will help, hopefully, you. If you'd like to take any photographs of the screens, because I can't unfortunately share them afterwards, please feel free to do so. So it's important to put down everything that is related to your business. All of your business expenses should be listed on this. And we're going to call this subtotal A. And for argument's sake, we're going to call it £1,000. I know it's going to be more for some people, it's going to be less for some others. I'll just wait for you to take your photos and I'll move on. Let me know when you're ready for me to move on. Yeah. Okie dokie. Oh. Old people at the back. That's right, you've got an old person at the front as well. Okay, no problem. Right, so the next screen. This is all about your domestic outgoings, because a lot of people work out their business outgoings and think, oh yeah, that's how much I need to charge per hour. And they forget about their domestic outgoings. Now, again, I appreciate everyone's situation is going to be unique. Some people might be in a partnership where you share your business outgoings 50-50. Some people might be 100% responsible for their business outgoings, or some people might be very lucky and have a partner that pays 100% of all the domestic outgoings. So they don't need to pay anything towards it. But again, I've put down a round total figure of £2,000 for your domestic expenses. If I go back, I can see the lady who said I was struggling with the pictures before, but I'm going to go back a screen, because with the business outgoings, as you can hopefully see, written underneath it, it says put a minimum of 50% of your business outgoings into a bank account. You want to try and find the highest interest bank account you can, and just put 50% or even more, as much as you can afford, into one of these accounts. This is going to help you come the time it takes, when the tax man comes a knocking and you've got to pay, or if you have an unexpected large expense come through. I was speaking to someone just before I came in here today who had just had a £5,000 bill for replacing his gearbox. So yeah, we don't like those kind of surprises. Let's make sure we have some input aside for a rainy day. So there's the domestic outgoings. That is subtotal B. And if you add all of this together, this gives you a total income required of £3,500. £1,000 for your business outgoings, 50% of that into a high interest account, that's 1,500. 2,000 for your domestic outgoings, which gives you a total of 3,500. Would anyone disagree that that's the correct total given the figures And here is where a lot of people do make a mistake, because what you've got to do to help you calculate your minimum lesson price, and this is the minimum just for you to break even, if you take that total income required, £3,500, times it by 12 months of the year, that comes to £42,000. Now divide it by how many weeks of the year you want to work, and for the example of this demonstration, so let's say 48 weeks of the year. So divide it by 48 weeks of the year, that works out at £875 a week that you need to earn just to break even. Now, divide that by how many hours of a week you want to work, and that will give you the hourly rate required to cover your expenses and just break even. And for the purposes of this presentation, I've just assumed someone's going to work 36 hours a week. I know some people will work less, some will work more, but I'm going to use the 36-hour working week for the example on this. This is one of the biggest areas people forget to include. They're social and leisure activities. So how often do you go out for a meal? You know, if you've got kids, you take them to kids clubs, you go to the cinema, gym memberships aren't cheap. Golf's very popular. You might like going to play snooker or something like that. If you're a smoker, I know, I'm not a smoker myself, but I know cigarettes are very, very expensive nowadays, as is alcohol if you do like to have a little tipple. So I've just put a round figure in here. Again, I know some people will be more, some will be less, of £1,000 a month for your social and leisure, activities. Now, let's put all of that together. You've got your monthly business outgoings, £1,500, because you've put 50% into a high interest account. You've got £2,000 for your domestic expenses. Social and leisure expenses, another £1,000. Add it all together, that is £4,500 per calendar month, which works out at £54,000 a year. Sounds a lot, right? Okay. Now, using the same calculations as we did before, so feel free to take a picture. It's exactly the same calculations, but now we've added in the leisure activity money. It works out at £31.25 per hour. Now, if you were to charge that, that's what you're going to need to charge to break even. But speaking personally, and us at Driving School Development, the whole reason we started was so that people didn't have to just survive. We want you to thrive and earn a really decent income, because as professional driver trainers, we all provide a life-changing service, and we should get paid a commensurate rate for that. I hope you all agree with that. We should be paid what we're worth, yeah? Yeah. Hey, good. I like that big yes at the front. Well done. Okay, so moving on from that, this is what you need to break even. If you were to just up your lesson price a little bit, say £3.75 an hour, so instead of the £31.25 needed for you just to break even, you're now going to charge £35 an hour. Just for my own personal curiosity, who charges £35 an hour or more in the room? Yeah, I knew that one would go up. Anyone else? Okay, if anyone wants any help how to make that happen, please come and see me on stand 129 afterwards, and I'll be happy to have a chat with you. Now, if you manage to charge £35 an hour, at 36 hours a week, you're going to earn an extra £135 a week. That's worked out for the £3.75 an hour. Times that by 48 weeks of the year, you're going to end up with an extra £6,480. Now, who would like an extra £6,480? Yeah, everyone. Okay, yeah, me too. Divide that by 12 months of the year, and that gives you a completely disposable income of £540 a month. And that's something you can do whatever you like with. You've already got some put aside for a high value expense that's going to be unexpected, your tax bill, etc. So this £540, this can help you live the life that you deserve as a driving instructor. We all deserve it. So that is how to accurately calculate your lesson price. Obviously, if you charge more and add more than £3.75 an hour to what your basic outgoings are, then you're going to have more than £540 a week as your disposable income. Now I want to talk to you about recession-proof in your business. And a lot of people are probably going to think, what is he on about, recession-proofing? Pupils are falling out of the sky at the moment. I'm turning them away left, right and centre. It's important to plan ahead. Unfortunately, inflation is at its highest rate for 40 years, and there is a recession coming. The government has to recoup the money that it paid out to support people during COVID. It's coming, who knows when? I haven't got a crystal ball, but it's coming. So I want to go through with you a system that I've used for over 30 years when I used to manage 80 odd instructors when I was an area manager for the AA driving school, to help people recession proof their business and still be able to earn a decent amount of money with less pupils. There will still be pupils around, but not so many of them. So let's talk about how to recession proof your business. Using the information that we've just discussed from the business plan / lesson price calculator, you now know how many hours, exactly what lesson price you need per week to avoid operating at a loss. As I've just said, even during this recession, there will still be pupils available, just not so many of them. So we're all going to have to fight for the pupils. And how can we do that? Well, I'll talk to you about that in just a second. But if you aim to get each pupil to have an average of 3 hours per week, in my experience, approximately 50% of them will, 50% of them won't, because either they don't want to or they can't afford to. But if you get this average, you'll still be able to do a 30-hour week with just 10 pupils. Apart from people that provide intensive courses, can I just have a show of hands? How many people in here have a pupil base of more than 10 pupils at the moment? Almost everybody. Okay. So here's how you're going to be able to make a decent living with just 10 pupils. First of all, you need to be able to maximise your income with fewer pupils. You need to have an advert with the wow factor, because people will be scrolling through Google looking for driving schools, and you need your one to pop out in their face and go, oh, they think that's interesting. I need to have a chat with this driving school. That sounds very interesting. Your first priority is to get the phone ringing. And we've all had the phone calls that end with, well, they start with, hello, how much are your driving lessons? And they finish in very shortly afterwards with, okay, yeah, I'll get back to you. Thank you very much. And the phone goes down. We've all had those phone calls, right? Okay. So what you need is an excellent conversion rate to be able to get the majority of those inquiries into your car having lessons. So once you get them into your car, you need to sell your product and your lessons to them. Now, apart from my experience in our profession, I also had a very successful career in sales and sales training. Now, I had to create a lot of sales pitches for many different companies, and all sales pitches have these 5 elements involved. In fact, there is one beforehand, which is breaking the ice. Has anyone here ever been in sales? Right, so you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. You have to break the ice. But, oh, pardon, there you go, that's the sound of the ice breaking. But you've already broken the ice because you've got them in your car. So let's talk through the next few steps of this sales process. You need to fact find. Please feel free to take photos of this. The second step is to create desire for your product. Why should they want driving lessons with you as opposed to the guy or the lady down the road or around the corner? You need to find a solution to existing problems. You need to overcome any objections, and the objection normally is price with any sale. And then once you've overcome the objection, the final step is the close, which is where they've agreed to become a pupil of yours, they've prepaid for their first lesson, and you have now got an agreement with them to have X amount of lessons a week up until and including their proposed test date. So how do we use the 5 steps of the sale to actually recession-proof your business? Number 1, fact find. Just ask them, when would you like to have your driving licence by? Have this conversation because it's absolutely crucial. Don't assume, ask them. And when they tell you, dig deeper. Get really client-centred with them and say, well, why do you want your driving licence by then? I know there's someone drilling next door, sorry for the noise. Why do you want your driving licence by then? It could be, I need it because I've got a new job offer, but I need to be able to drive for this job. One I very frequently came across is, I'm pregnant and I need to pass before the baby comes. Okay, right, well, let's try and make that happen. So step 2, create desire. They've just told you when they want their licence by, why they want it by that time. So now, if you say to them, so if I can get you to test standard by that date, would you be happy with that? This is what's called in sales, again, people who've been in sales, it's a closing question. They can't say no to this because they've just told you what they want and when they want it. And you just said, so if I can give that to you, will you be happy? Well, they can't say no. The next part is finding a solution, and the solution to the problem, and the problem is, hey, we need to get you having more lessons. Right? So explain that the DVSA say on average learner drivers need approximately 67 hours of training, 47 hours in a car with a professional like yourselves, or 20 hours added in with mum, dad, friend or family member. And then just say to them, would you be happy taking that amount of lessons? I ask this question to every single client I've ever had. I've never had one say, yeah, I'd really like to take 67 hours. Has anyone ever? No, they don't, will they? So now you're overcoming this objection. They don't want to take that amount of hours. Okay, so say, this is where you need to tell them something rather than ask them. Just say, do you know what? I've found in my experience that by my pupils having 2-hour lessons a week, they pass with roughly 35 hours. Now, we all know you're going to get some that pass quicker and some that will take a little bit longer. But hey, they've gone from needing 67 hours in their head to psychologically now you're offering them door number 3, they can have their licence after 35 hours. Of course, they're going to be interested in taking this. Would you be happy with that? Well, of course they're going to be happy with it. So now you move on to step 5, which is the close. You make an agreement on how many lessons they're going to have each week up to their proposed test date. That's a whole other presentation, when you can get a test date, but that's for another day. So you can get them to have 2-hour lessons a week. If they say, oh, I can't really do that, there's a couple of options. You can get them to have a couple of 1.5 lessons a week. Still comes to 3 hours. Or you could get them to have 2 2-hour lessons one week, followed by 1 2-hour lesson the week after. It still averages out at 3 hours per pupil per week, which will allow you to make a very comfortable living with just a pupil base of 10 hours. Now, that is pretty much the end of the presentation, and I want to, on behalf of myself, my wife Maria, Driving School Development, wish you every success with your driver training business. Hope you found this presentation useful and enjoyable, and now I'll be happy to answer any of your questions. I can take my glasses off and I'll be able to see you properly now as well. So, does anyone have any questions? Gentleman at the back.
Yeah, on your first slide it said put £1,000, well, sorry, 50% of your outgoings, not your income.
Yeah, your business outgoings. So if your business outgoings totaled £1,000, if you were to put £500 in a bank account per month, by the time the tax bill's due, you're going to have the money there. You're also going to have some money sitting there should a high value expense suddenly rears its ugly head.
I just didn't see where the 50% of the outgoings, because if your income is zero, how can you put anything away?
If you work out what your outgoings are, but add 50% to that and put that 50% in the bank account. That's it. I hope that answers your question. Any other questions? Nobody?
Thank you.
Oh, you're very, very welcome. Well, if anyone does have anything else they'd like to ask me, we're on stand number 129. Please feel free to come up and have a chat with us. We're right next to the amazing charity Speed of Sight. And if you found this presentation of any use whatsoever, please feel free to come and donate £1 or £2 to that charity, because they are amazing. Thank you very much for your time.
Total Drive is an award-winning driving instructor app for independents, multi-schools, pupils and parents. The app includes a powerful diary, free lesson reminders, progress records, reflective logs and more. Total Drive is proven to help instructors earn more, work smarter and improve pupil pass rates. If you're a driving instructor, you need to try Total Drive by starting your completely free 30-day trial at www.totaldrive.co.uk. Total Drive is an award-winning driving instructor app for independents, multi-schools, pupils and parents. The app includes a powerful diary, free lesson reminders, progress records, reflective logs and more. Total Drive is proven to help instructors earn more, work smarter and improve pupil pass rates. If you're a driving instructor, you need to try Total Drive by starting your completely free 30-day trial at www.totaldrive.co.uk. Total Drive is an award-winning driving instructor app for independents, multi-schools, pupils and parents. The app includes a powerful diary, free lesson reminders, progress records, reflective logs and more. Total Drive is proven to help instructors earn more, work smarter and improve pupil pass rates. If you're a driving instructor, you need to try Total Drive by starting your completely free 30-day trial at www.totaldrive.co.uk.